Hey, good evening. It's good to be back again. I want to welcome you back to another edition of Broken and Not Shattered. Like I said, it's good to be back again. Looks like I've been away for a while and I've been, watching the show from the back end and it's been awesome. In fact, one of the last, you know, shows was so amazing. Was mind blowing with Dr. Pastor Gloria. That was awesome, Dr. Gloria. I really appreciate you for being on that show. It was awesome, and I was blessed. And I believe not just me that was blessed. I believe it's touched so many lives. Thank you so much for being on the show and being a blessing to so many. Today again, we're back. To do the things that we are called to do, which is to bring healing to broken mind, to help add voice to reduce the rate of suicide and sadness, and improve life as well. So you're welcome this evening. When I'm back, we will continue on you know the process, and I will tell you I have a guest this evening, and he's a very young guy. So when we come back, I will introduce him. All the same, sit tight and you know stay tuned. You're welcome. Yes. This is another edition of Broken Not Shattered. Um, First, I want to apologize um, um, on behalf of the host, Ike Waverly, who is not on seat this evening with me. Um, he's tied down with some responsibilities, and tonight I'm gonna, you know, sit in as the host, and I believe I know God helping me, I can, function in His capacity. God give me the grace to do that. But the same, you're back to the show once again, and it's nice having you again on this show. Now, tonight we have a very young and vibrant youth. One of the things that we're given to do in these shows is, to bring about a paradigm shift in the mind of the youth. And basically, our target is the youth because we've discovered that there is so much to do. And if we care so much about the future, then there is need for us to, launch in to where we have our youths and try to make sure that we save them for the future. And tonight we have a young, vibrant man. Um, he's a great mind. And I believe the world is yet to tap into what he has within him. He's an entrepreneur, but he has passed through series of processes to get to where he is, and he is still in the process with great visions. So tonight I want to introduce Ebuka, my guest. Ebuka, you're welcome to the show.
Good
Yes.
evening, Mr. Obi.
Good evening, Ebuka.
Good
I
evening,
know
sir.
I took you unawares. In fact, let me announce it to the audience that we never planned coming on the show together. But somehow I sat down and I thought about it and I said, let me give him a surprise. And surprisingly, he, accepted that. Ebuka, it's nice having you on the show this evening.
The pleasure is all mine, sir.
You're
Good
welcome.
evening, Mr. Obi.
You're welcome there. Nice having you. I'm so grateful that you're able to, pick the call and show up on the show. Now,
Thank
Ebuka, this evening we'll be talking about some of the things you and I have had the conversation in the time past. You know,
okay.
one of the things we've been talking about in this season is the process. We'll try to look at the process, which basically, some of these processes are what we pass through, and it either destroys us or makes us strong. Some of the processes are the things that has driven some persons to that extreme point of considering suicide, and also has driven some to that extreme of becoming something mind blowing and an
Okay.
encouragement to others. Now, this evening, you and I will share a little about what the process is in your life has been like, and how has it challenged you, and where has it taken you to, and what do you look out for in the future. But before we dive into that, please, can you tell the audience a little about you? You're welcome. The floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone, and a very warm good evening to Mr. Obi.
You're
Actually,
welcome.
before I go on, Mr. Obi is one of my greatest mentors.
Wow.
Well, within the discussion, I will explain why I say that. But for now, I am just giving the simple honor of introducing myself. It's a great honor, Mr. Obi. I never expected myself to be in a screen explaining my past and then the process I passed through. I never
Yeah.
expected that one day I would do that. But I've always longed that one day the world will hear me saying it. Well, and my name is, my humble self is Solomon Chukwebuka. I grew up in the poor family of a Mali family. We are from Anambra. So growing up was not that so much easy. Education was very difficult. None of
Yeah.
my brothers went to school. So, but I decided from when I was very young, from when I was very little, that I will go to school. So it became from that day I made that decision. I took, I made a promise to my life in particular to go through school, but it was not easy. It was not that easy. Well, within the show, I will get to explain a lot about it. Thank you, Mr. Obi, once more.
Wow. Wow. Ebuka, this is so much to take. I know our audience would want to hear more. One of the things we do on this show, which you are in line with, is we tell our stories to encourage people. And I think that what gave birth to this idea is thinking of telling our story to help someone else. We believe that globally, someone out there might be passing through what you've passed through in life, and by the virtue of being on this show, can have a reconsideration, you know, to move ahead irrespective of what the times are for him or her. So it's an honor having you on the show. Thank you so much, Ebuka. Now, Ebuka, in a nutshell, can you tell us what the challenges were for you? What those processes were like for you?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Obi. Well, like I said, I grew up in the poor family of a Mali family. So growing up was so much difficult. Growing up was very difficult. My senior brother ended in primary six. My direct senior brother ended in is it primary five and went into servicing. So, but growing up, right from my primary four, I said, Ebuka, you must go to school.
Mm,
From my primary five, I started saving for my secondary school. I
wow.
passed through the secondary school. I the day I wrote my exam, it was a very big secondary school in our area. But my mom was like, after my primary six, as intelligent as I was, I will enter into mechanic.
Wow.
So, but as God will have it, I wrote my exams in the school, passed the exams, and got a scholarship for my first term of
Wow.
my JS1. So it was a big shock to my mom that I could enter the school at first, and then pass the exam, and then getting someone that will sponsor me through. So after my secondary school, we now is the university, going through the university. And then growing up, I was this stubborn type, very, very stubborn. I used to be very strong headed. So they see me as that one that will just while away because other ones respected my parents, and then they ended up where they ended up. So I became stubborn, don't knowing that, not knowing that the stubbornness was leading me to somewhere.
Okay.
So passing through the university, it was very difficult. I did many difficult things just to pass on. But there was this particular time in my final year, my mom died. So here I am, a young student, no sponsor, I don't have a phone, I don't have a laptop, and I'm writing the most difficult projects in my tenure, as in my season as a student. Going through, surfing through the net to get someone that wrote the project, it was just one person. And then it was very difficult for me to write this project. I don't have a phone, I don't have a laptop, and I don't have anyone to just talk to about it. It was very, very difficult. I I tried suicide. Funny enough, I
Yeah.
tried suicide, but I couldn't die. I don't know why. I don't know why I couldn't die because it was here all over me. I was like, I see all my life dream of graduating. I can't, I will not graduate because if you don't write your project, you will not graduate. So I was here in a very small room that is not my own because I was squatting with a friend. So I was there thinking, nothing to be done. Then I tried suicide. I woke up and I saw myself. From that very day, I took an oath never to do it again. I don't know if you are the one hearing me. Life is a very difficult path. So most times you think that is end of the road, not knowing that you just have to calm down and think. Another solution will come up. I told myself, yes, I don't have laptop, I don't have a phone, but my friends have laptop and they have phone. And then there is library. So why can't I write my project? That was the idea that came upon me when I woke up from that after trying the suicide. I just woke up and I saw myself still. Then my stomach was turning me to so I have to go and eat. Go to the library. Read up one or two things about my project. Go to a friend, beg our phone, solve the net about what I'm about to do. Went to another person, typed my project. So I said, this is a great circle. Go to the library, study, browse the net, and then do what? Type it. So at some point I was doing that, someone borrowed me her laptop, said, take and write your project. Another person borrowed me her flash drive, and then I had to put my SIM card. The other person told me, I will sub the I will sub your for the so session of writing your project. I'll be subbing for you. Write your project. Then another person took it upon herself that she will all the thing I will print about my project, she will take care of it. All these are my friends. But it started with a thinking. Most times the suicide or being depressed, being frustrated in life is not the issue, it's not the solution. Because if you are dead, you have many dreams that will die in you, you have many visions that will die in you. And as my mentor will tell you, I have many great visions in my head. And then this is the great vision that will just die off on a fateful day. It was May 17, 2018. That was the day I tried this suicide. It was very
Wow.
difficult for me at that point. But in that time, I learned not to try it anymore. So coming to when I say that Mr. Obi is my mentor, after writing my project, I passed through the university, so I didn't start going to rigorous of trying to pass out and stuff like that. I went straight up into hustle, into working, into making that my dream come true.
Yeah.
At some point, it become also an end. It becomes so very difficult again that I don't have anywhere to live. I don't have anywhere to stay, and I don't know anybody. My mom died. My dad has died. Two of my siblings, like I said, they didn't go to school, and nothing to be done. Mr. Obi called me up one day, Ebuka, come to Lagos. Come to Lagos. Something can be done about it. Come up to Lagos. Let's do something about it. Here I am. I don't have anywhere to turn to. And then a stranger all of a sudden said, I will help you. I will help you. See, life is all about ups and downs. When I came to Lagos, I have nothing. I have visually not. I'm not saying that I have everything, but my life is somewhere.
Yeah.
See, life teaches you patience. Life teaches you to be humble, to be down to the earth. It is not
Wow.
always easy to just go through it and then pass through it and then just become what you want to become. You just make, you know, you just do it like a magic wand. No, life teaches you a process. It will teach you to control. It will teach you to educate. It will, the one funny thing about life is that it's not about what you become. It's about the
Yeah.
person you become
Yeah.
going through this process.
Yeah.
I became somebody I have never expected my life to be.
Wow.
I have never been this I have never been this fluent in English language. I studied
Yeah.
in a very, very, very rough primary school. You understand? Very, very rough. I remember one day in university, I stood up to ask a question because I'm one of the serious students. So I stood up to ask a question. Everybody was like, Ebuka, don't ask this question because you will speak wrong English. I told them, I want to speak. Let me ask this question. So everybody was like, no, sit down. You don't ask the question. I said, you see this question, I'll ask it. I rose up and then committed a grammatical blunder that everybody started laughing. Those writing their exam in the next hall, so don't stop writing the exam, started laughing. so, but
Ebuka,
it is a,
okay, go ahead.
but it's a process that you have to learn. You don't have to
Yeah.
get stuck in. You don't have to
Yes.
just get depressed about it. You don't have to just say it is done. You can't move on. It is a lie.
So,
Yeah.
Ebuka, sorry, I'm not trying to cut you short. You still say more, but we are a kind of choked with time. Um, you have said some vital things, and to be honest, if we end this show here now, there is so much we are gonna go with from this show. To be honest, you've blessed us in this show today.
Thank you
I
so
could
much.
remember, meeting you, and I believe one of the things that triggered my interest in you was your loyalty and your sincerity and trust, and that's what I tell young guys. You know, your one of the greatest asset or gift or skill you can have in life, whatever or gift, is honesty, loyalty, and sincerity. These three things can take you anywhere around the globe. Anywhere around the globe. Now, this was one of the point of attractions, and I've always told people this is one of the things I believe in life. Just live. You know, just live. It is left for God to decide how He comes into your life. Bible says that um, a living dog is better than a dead lion. You get, and there's another saying that how did they put it? They said help me. Um, it's flying away. It's flying away from my head. But then the bottom line of what I'm trying to say is the most important thing is life. So once we are alive, you know, there is hope for the living. Exactly. That's what I'm
Yeah.
looking for.
Yes.
There's hope
Yes.
for the living. However it is, it might be tough, it might be a very rough moment, it might be very bad with you. But guess what? There is hope. And what you
Yes.
cannot decide is how your hope comes. But when you die with your hope.
Yes.
There was this story, I heard of years ago of a man who had the gold mine, and he dug for years and he could not discover the gold. So he came to conclusion that there is no gold there, and he decided to sell it out. He sold it cheaply to someone, and then, funny enough, the man he sold it to, dug for just 1 week and he discovered the gold. You know,
Yes.
this is just a lesson about life. And if we can just be patient with life, however it takes us. Now, there is some things you have said. You said it it is a process that teaches you some things. So now in those process you've been able to, they said it's a process that educates, right? You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
it teaches you patience and some, and those are virtues that you will use, to achieve
Okay.
your future. Now, one of the things I had wanted to ask you is, obviously I know you have pointed that, but I want you to categorically state it if that is clear.
Okay.
When you tried, because you would have been a dead person because you tried it. Now, was there any regret of trying suicide? Was there any regret of trying it?
Like after when I made comment of me trying suicide, I said after the suicide, when I woke up, I made a resolution never in my life to
So
try
in
suicide
other words,
anymore.
you regretted it.
There was a deep regret.
Now, are you going, irrespective of, you know how extreme, the difficult situation might be, would you recommend that for someone?
Okay, permit me to use some of our time. I want to, make an explanation about this particular thing I learned through also the process when listening to a mentor, Les Brown in particular. He was talking about Chinese bamboo tree. The Chinese bamboo tree, when you plant it, it takes it 5 years, 5 good years to germinate. Then after these 5 years, in 6 months, it grows 9 feet tall. In 6 months, these 5 good years, you continue to water the floor. You continue to put fertilizer. You continue to fertilize it. You don't go and open the soil to see if it is germinating. You should be patient. You should be enduring.
Mm-hmm.
Continue watering for five
Yes.
good years. This is
Yes.
365 days times five. You
Mm.
continue to water this floor. After 5 years, it sprouts out. In 5 months, it gets into 9 feet tall. I don't know the process you are in. I don't know the particular situation you are in. I
Yeah.
have been into process. I have passed through difficult times. I am still in difficult times, and I am passing through the most difficult times. But
Mm.
the only thing you have is that hope that one day it will sprout out. And once it sprouts out, I will tell you, it does not take much time. Your blessing or whatever you hope for does not take a minute to manifest. It's God
Wow.
doing it. God does
Wow.
not take like God does not need it does not need human, manifestation. It does not need human calculations or logic to
Yes.
do these things.
Yes.
You just
Yes.
place one
Yes.
or two things in
Yes.
seconds of time.
Yes.
You just
Yes.
see
Yes.
yourself from that place you have been praying for. I
Yes.
don't know the one hearing me at my voice, but the fact is, I don't know whatever you are in. You might be in a long relationship. It might be um, it might be education. It might be looking for a job. I searched for a job. I searched for a job coming to Lagos. But the fact is, there is light at the end of the tunnel. That hope gives you the strength to move through. Never you try suicide. It is not. It is not advisable at all.
Advisable, and it's never an option.
It
Ebuka,
is never
this
an
is
option.
this is awesome. Now we're going to be back in few minutes, and I'll ask you a few other questions. There are a whole lot that you've talked about, you know. So after the break, we will continue and we'll. Yes, it's been a wonderful time with Ebuka Solomon, and we're almost rounding up. But before we go, and before Ebuka will tell us a few other things, other advice. he might have for young ones, I would advise us to, follow us on our social media, pages. We are on Instagram at Broken and T Shattered. And you can also follow us on, Facebook, to write to us. Follow us. You can write to us via our email at info@broken.ntshattered.com, and our YouTube handle as well, at Broken Not Shattered, and join us. Feel free to interact with us. Feel free to get across to us to tell us your story. We believe that we are touching lives, and we believe that together, telling our stories, we can create a better environment and help, our young ones, you know, create a better tomorrow and then live better. Now, Ebuka, it's nice having you, like I will always say. Now, in the next 2 minutes, not more than 2 minutes, what advice will you give to someone who is passing through this process at the moment, who is in a very difficult situation and sees suicide as the option?
Thank you, Mr. Obi. Well, my advice is be patient. Be
Patient.
patient. If life have not taught me anything, it taught me these three things. And that thing has been my caption. It has been like a song in my head whenever I live my life. You see, patience, be kind, and be humble. I don't,
Yeah,
wherever you are considering suicide, it is born out of frustration and depression. And
yeah,
then depression and frustration are born when you feel like there is no more hope.
yeah,
But I have seen people go from grass to an all-time grace.
yes,
But the fact is, there is hope.
yes,
Hope is the only thing that makes you not to get into depression and into frustration. Once you
yes,
can hope, once you can see the light, once you can raise your head and you see the light, you will continue living. Whatever you are into, whatever it be, I don't know whatever it might be. My story might have been even worse than your own, or yours might be worse than my own. But the fact is, the underlying denominator between your story and my story is hope. That is the
yeah.
hope of a low man.
See,
Whenever
that's
you can rise up and see, you can still stand.
I like that. Thank you so much, Ebuka. I used to tell people, keep your hope alive, and the only way you can keep your hope alive is believing,
Yes,
even when you
yes,
don't look it, even when the condition doesn't look it. Believe. The
yes,
Bible said that faith is the evidence of thing not seen, an
yes, yes,
assurance of something hoped for. So in that way, you keep your hope alive. Because you've been, a big blessing. And I have watched you over time grow, you know, and it grow in knowledge and in grace. I remember when you first came, the struggle, and gradually, things are taking shape. And I believe it will get better. But there is something
yes,
you said here which is very vital. There is a takeaway for me and for everyone on the show tonight, and that is the process continues. There's the challenging time does not, go away completely. It is something that you continue to encounter. So what do you do? Continue to believe. Now you have encountered something that have given you the ideology of never to give up. Now, why did you say never to give up? Because you know it will return at some point again, irrespective of how greasy it might get at the moment, or it will become later. But definitely, there are going to be, some other challenges that will come in
yes,
the nearest future. But then the solution to it is stay hopeful and stay alive. And that's what I
yes,
want to leave with our audience this evening. Stay hopeful and stay alive. There was something There was something that happened after Jesus was tempted. The scripture made mention. He said, and the devil left him for a while. For a while. It did not say he left completely. He said he left him for a while. And that is how challenges are. You conquer one after a period of time, another one comes and will continue.
Yes.
And as we, jump the hurdle, we'll grow. As we're jumping it looks like we're growing higher in knowledge and in all
And wisdom.
ramification.
Yes.
Ebuka, it's nice having you on the show. To be honest, you've been a blessing to us, and I really want to thank you. Thank you so much, and we'll look forward to having you, you know, on the show again. You're actually a blessing, and I want to tell you. Please, can you just say hi to the audience before you leave?
Thank you, everyone, hearing my voice. And thank you, Mr. Obi, my mentor.
Ebuka, thank you for having you. It's really, really a pleasure, and we'll
The pleasure
say,
is all mine, sir.
stay hopeful and don't
Yes.
give. You're welcome.